There we go. Shout out Blue Nail Roofing. Shout out to those who nailed it over the course of this weekend. And there's a lot to talk about in this space. And I'm going to start off here because this is a game, this is a series that to necessarily say they nailed it isn't entirely true because there's a lot to not like about how this all went. But if you are looking for more eyeballs on women's sports, if you are looking to bring people under the tent, the Texas Tech Florida Super Regional Series did exactly that over the course of the last 3 days. This kind of almost went full WWE over the course of the weekend. Texas Tech, number 11 seed, Florida the number 6 seed, so Florida is hosting. Texas Tech is the program that went to the finals a year ago, lost to Texas, has Nyjari Kennedy, the $1 million pitcher. They have been talked about ad nauseum. It drives their fans nuts how much people talk about what their NIL budget is. They're just doing it better than everybody else is right now. They're spending a whole bunch of money, not just in softball, but in everything, and it's working. But here they are again, not only with Nyjari Kennedy, but they went and got a kid named Caitlin Terry from UCLA. They basically went into the portal and got like, all right, those 7 teams were all really good, and we're going to take your best player, and your best player, and
Money
your
talks.
best player, and your best player. And one of those best players they took was Mia Williams from Florida. Mia Williams, daughter of Jason Williams, white chocolate from the Sacramento Kings back in the day, one of the most entertaining players in NBA history. She transferred to Texas Tech last summer after having a very nice career at Florida. Committed to Florida at 12 years old. Always wanted to be a Gator because her dad was a Gator. She's not a Gator anymore because she went to Texas Tech. That bothered some people at Florida quite a bit over the course of this offseason, into this season, and of course they would meet in the Super Regionals. And over the course of Game 1, Florida hit her with a pitch 2 different times. And then she did this to give Texas Tech the lead in the 7th. Tech led this game 8-0. Florida came all the way back to tie the game at 8, and then Mia Williams, against her old team, hits the game-winning home run. This is Game 1. That's VO 71, Game 1, 2-run homer, gives her team the lead. They win Game 1, 10-8. Florida won Game 2, 10-2. Williams hit twice more in that game. Florida won Game 2, 10-2. So the series is tied 1-1. And it's Game 3 where this whole thing goes completely nuclear. If we can call up VO 72, the very first pitch of the game. Now, this was not exactly a plunk.
Right.
It caught her on the back knee. But it was the 5th time in 3 games that Williams was hit.
Ooh.
And this drew the ire of the Texas Tech dugout in quite a bit of verbose fashion. We had to blur some lips. Everybody was real fired up in the Texas Tech dugout. And for good reason, because that was the 5th time she had been hit over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, that's not fun. I mean, listen, knee injuries stink in general. That's not an injury,
Yes.
but just feeling it graze, like I'm kind of, I could feel it. You know what I mean? That's not fun.
So, Zeke, if we can call up SOTVO 73, because the very next time Mia Williams was at the plate with her team down 1, she did this. Florida fans are upset. The Tech fans are all fired up, and those Tech fans include, if we can call up VO 74, Jason Williams himself, who I will remind you again went to Florida. And yet here he is mocking the Florida fans, and the former Gator himself is chomping at the Gator fans, just mocking them all along. Gator fans are trying to get him tossed. Apparently his youngest daughter got hit with something by somebody in the stands. There was an old lady, allegedly, that hit his youngest daughter with something. This went bananas. Tech ends up winning the game 16-7, a run rule victory, so they're going to the Women's College World Series. Florida's season ends. Tech lines up to shake hands. Florida wants no part of it.
Why would
Florida
you?
stays in their dugout, does not come out to shake hands, so that just inflames the tensions even more. Tech's now celebrating at full throat down on the field. Apparently, Keegan Rothrock's father can be seen in some of the broadcast video, the actual coverage of the game, making some gestures that you probably shouldn't be making at a bunch of 20, 21, 22-year-old young women. It was kind of nasty on all fronts. If we can bring this to summation with SOT number 75, Jason Williams went on his own social media afterward and had thoughts / apologies / some more thoughts. You decide.
Hooping and hollering, what it do? As you can see, I've been doing a lot of hollering this past weekend. Voice gone. My daughter did her thing. The whole team did her thing, but especially proud of my daughter going back to Florida and doing what she did. You guys see how them Florida Gators acted at the end of the game. They didn't really want to shake hands. They didn't want to do none of that. The crowd tried to get me ejected, this, that, and the third. Some fans hit my youngest daughter with some objects. We were asked if we wanted to press charges. Nah, we ain't about that. Let that little old lady live, man. She ain't got much longer to go, so let her go on and live, man. We didn't do nothing to her. She was just mad that the Gators was losing, and that's cool. That's what she's supposed to be. I'm happy we won. You know, I'm a Florida Gator in my blood. Without Florida, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So like I said, they said some things they shouldn't have said, and we said some things we shouldn't have said, so we're sorry from our side. That's all I can say. And wreck them.
I'm sorry. My favorite part is through this whole thing is going to be Jason Williams. Let that little old lady live.
What a character. But no, talk your talk, man. You put up on the field, talk your talk.
They had some eyeballs this weekend for sure. I saw one tweet from a Florida student newspaper reporter or whatever, had like 6.3 million views on Texas Tech celebrating on the field, and all the Tech fans are in the comments upset with him for the way that he was casting it, and it was entertaining if nothing else. And we have more entertainment coming because Texas Tech and Texas, who last year played for the championship, if they both win their first game on Thursday, will play on Saturday for a spot in the semis. So they are bringing eyeballs, if nothing else. Some of it was maybe not exactly the way that their athletic directors would draw it up, but they're bringing attention.
There's
for
something
sure.
special about get back in sports, right? Like where you are, you're able to hit a game-winning shot or hit a home run after getting beamed multiple times.
Yeah.
There's just something. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's such a
Vindication.
Yeah. I don't know if it's. I guess it's revenge, vindication, whatever it is. But it is beautiful when it comes to life in sports when there aren't any serious injuries to report. It's competition. It's a little trash talk. It's kind of what sports are about. And as long as it doesn't escalate to a violent degree,
Right.
I'm with it.
Yeah, it never got violent. Well, save for the claim anyway that his youngest daughter got hit with something. I'm not sure exactly what, but this was so crazy that it got to the point where Holly Rowe, one of the most established, veteran, seasoned reporters that works at ESPN, was quoting a Facebook post from Mia Williams' mom from last summer calling out the Florida program and go get another pitcher in the portal if you wanted to keep us around was basically the tenor of the post.
Wow.
It was madness. It was 3 days of madness. And Beth Mowins, who was the play-by-play voice for this series for the weekend for ESPN, tweeted afterwards something along the lines of, "We've had our crew together for 20 years. We've done a lot of games, a lot of big moments, Women's College World Series games, Super Regionals." She said, "We've never seen an atmosphere like what we saw in Gainesville this weekend. It was nuts."
It was tense, but
Yeah.
maybe there will be a brawl next time. I was just waiting
Let's not go to that level.
I was just waiting for the dugout to empty. You hit her 5 times? How is that dugout not empty?
And that to me is like, I understand the Florida fans that have wanted to say over the course of the last couple of days, well, look at the pitches. They're not, they don't look intentional. And some of them certainly didn't look intentional.
At a certain point,
But when
though.
it happens 5 times in 3 games, you kind of lose a leg to stand on.
That's the one thing I was missing from that clip, though, is in baseball, when there's a big feud, they start running in and streaming in from the bullpens in the outfield. They don't do that in softball. They're all right there.
I love that when they run in from the ball. Oh, yeah, we'll see you in an hour when you get here, okay? You can pile on to this brawl.
Yeah.
What a joke. All right, mine nailed it for the weekend. The Byron Nelson golf tournament that we have here in town, it's changed locations a few times over the last 10 years. It's now at TPC Craig Ranch in McKinney. And with the way the PGA Tour schedule is structured now, with how they have the majors set up, the 2 tournaments that come to DFW, the Byron and Colonial, have kind of gotten the short end of the straw in terms of where they fall in the schedule. They don't always get the biggest player pools, the top talent, because how some players just don't want to come to Texas at that time. Some players want to tune up. It's Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see Rory here unless it's a major, honestly. But
if he's going to catcall PGA Frisco,
it might not even be that.
But the Byron specifically has been an event that has had some real tough goes over the last handful of years, whether it's been weather and storms that have soaked the course, whether this course, TPC Creek Ranch, they light it up, man. Like, look at that. Scotty won it at 31 under last year. I mean,
and they tried to make it more
it's
difficult.
very much like a Corn Ferry type event to these guys. They can light it up. But it's fun, it's dramatic, and this weekend was a big win for the event because you had Scotty in contention, you had Siwoo in contention, and Wyndham Clark, who's a major winner, was in contention and pulled away, and he won at 30 under par, which is an insane score. It depends where you fall in the golf fan. Some people love to see guys make shots. Some people want to see them struggle like it's a U.S. Open. But all in all, when you have a golf event in Texas in May where it's hot, it's humid, it's sweltering, you never know what thunderstorms are going to be rolling through. I thought this was a big win for the event, and Wyndham Clark did too. Let's cue up that soundbite.
Last thing, Wyndham, just to thank you, the gratitude that you'd like to express to all the golf fans here and everyone involved with the tournament.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Thank you for all the fans. This is one of the best events, hands down. The fans were amazing. I got to play Scotty on Saturday, and even though they're rooting for their hometown kid, I still felt a lot of love.
Or Joe Trahan.
We know that guy.
Yeah, Joe Trahan getting a little shine. So I agree. I think this was a good win for the Byron. I'm a little bummed that Colonial this coming week does not have Scotty or Jordan playing in it, which is a rarity.
It's surprising for both of them to miss.
Yeah, for both of them. And as far as I can recall, they've both played in it for however many years in a row. So that's a bummer. But the player pool for Colonial this week is deeper than the Byron. Like, there's a lot more golfers in the top 50 than there were for the Byron. So, listen, I'm a golf fan. I just want to see these tournaments, have success because they have. Again, they've cut the raw end of the deal for the most part with the way the PGA Tour has kind of shifted the schedule. And
when
I hope
they
they
moved
get
the PGA to May,
you stick a major
Yeah.
around these events, it really messes it up, and that's tough. So I'm hopeful that these events eventually get better billing.
Yeah.
But for right now, they're trying to make the best of what they got, and they had a good finish, and that's all you can ask for.
Is there anywhere that you could put them? Because, obviously, any of the summer months, you're basically out. It'd be 110. You can't, you're at least risking that it could be 110.
You can move it to April. You can try to get into April somehow.
But then you're into Masters time. You're still stuck around a major.
Masters is early second weekend of April. I mean, if you can be in late April as opposed to late May, you're probably in better shape weather-wise, better spot.
And the Texas
event-wise.
Open down in San
But
Antonio.
the other issue, it's not even just the majors. It's the PGA Tour has these elevated events that Scotty and Jordan want to go playing because that's bigger money, and
right.
that you don't skip those. And so when you add those into the equation, it's where are you going to get time off? Mm-hmm. And so for them, it's a choice. Do we go play Byron? Do we play Colonial? And it's not we play both. It's a pick now, which stinks.
Because you've got the Memorial, which I think is not quite to the level of the Players, but it's again one of those that is seen as a little bit of a bigger event. And what golf did in totality for golf's sake was smart. Run away from the NFL for a sport that is baked into our most important day is Sunday. Competing with the NFL was a losing venture, and
Avoid
they very
September
clearly
Sundays at all costs. Right?
So that's what they have done. That's why they moved the majors around the way that they have. Moved the PGA out of August, even further away from the NFL. So that made sense in totality for the PGA Tour. But there are events that have suffered because of it, and unfortunately, the two local events are in that category.
100%.
My question, and just as a non-golf fan, I love seeing the low scores. I like seeing the best in the world.
You like shot
making? Yeah, I like seeing the best in the world look like the best in the world. No offense to the U.S. Opens that always have +1, +2 as the cut line.
See, I'm a sicko. I love to see them struggle because what people don't really understand with pro golf and these tour events is that with the galleries you have, these guys can just jack it way right or way left, and just going to hit off somebody's ball cap and land right there in the rough. And the rough is not cut the way it is at a Muni down the road, right? So these guys are playing on way better conditions. The rough is not the same as what we get, at a public course or even a semi-private. And your ball doesn't really go as far wayward as it could. If those courses were empty, that ball could hit and then skip another fairway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But these guys, so I mean, it's a different. They're already I'm not going to say coddled, but they are getting a better setup to play pro events than most golfers do. So I don't know. I that's why I like to see them struggle. If we can add anything that makes it difficult for them, I'm for it.
Well, because if you're going 31 under, 30 under, like the winning score has been at the Nelson the last 2 years, over 72 holes, that's nearly a birdie every other hole.
This is awesome.
You're scoring but at what do you want to see? Like here's
you want to see more home runs or not? Like that's the same thing.
Do you want to see the NBA All-Star game every single night in the NBA? Do you want every game to be 175 to 164?
No, but I also don't want it to be 50-50.
Well, sure.
Like that, and that's the alternative.
That's the U.S. Open,
right?
Yeah.
Like there's a happy medium. Like 15 under sounds about right.
That's why
to
the
me.
Masters is so great.
Right.
I mean, it's a stern test for the best, but the cream rises, right?
Right.
And that's the U.S. Open though is kind of goofy, where the cream rises, but then sometimes it really doesn't, and it's just who survives.
Yeah.
And
who can mud their way to a one underscore.
Who can par their way to a title, which, there's fun in that. So, yeah, it's different strokes for different folks.
Speaking of, stern test for the best. That's not the segue I wanted, but I'll take it anyway.
Pick it up.
Did you guys see anything from the enhanced games over the weekend?
No.
Come again?
I saw one tweet and I was like,
Do you guys
Enhanced games?
the enhanced games? You even know what this is?
No.
Okay.
I have at least heard what it is.
Okay.
But for the people that don't know, definitely tee this up.
By the definition of it, it is literally the Olympics on steroids. They are literally jacking guys up through proper channels, quote unquote, but guys have literally foregone their eligibility for the Olympics to get roided up so that they can try and break world records in Olympic sports. That is the concept.
They've completely taken the governor off of any
Yes.
sort of
Exactly.
rules relative to performance enhancement.
Why do I feel like in 5 years Matt Howerton is going to be competing in one of these events as like a power lifter?
He might. Either way, I want to introduce both of you guys to one Hunter Armstrong, call up VO80.
Of course, his last name is Armstrong.
Sure, but he is an enhanced games athlete, but he does not take steroids. This is a swimming athlete who joined it for the payday, but is competing as a clean athlete. He's been drug tested 11 times since he joined, has come up clean every time. Here is his competition, not necessarily in the specific race, but in VO81. These are the kind of guys that he's competing against. This is James Magnuson. This is James Magnuson, Olympic silver medalist in the 100 freestyle from a couple years back. Longtime, great swimmer. You can see the difference in physique, obviously, there. That was James, I think, from last year in preparation for this event. He competed in the 50 freestyle, was actually slower in his event, roided up than he was because obviously muscle doesn't equate to speed in swimming the same way that we used to think it did. But Hunter competed as a clean athlete at these games. We can call it VO82. This is how it went in the 50-meter backstroke. He is literally an entire body length ahead of the rest of the roided up field. So as a clean athlete, he dunked on these guys in their pool in their event, winning by practically a full second in a 50, which is a dead sprint. So that's my nailed it moment from this week. You join, you get the payday, you make a statement doing it. No better way to approach it. It's comical that the event even exists.
Yes.
I don't hate it
existence of
as
this
much
event.
as I hate whatever that slapping competition is, where they slap each other in the face.
That's fair.
That is like the apex of
Dumb.
I think we've created too many things, and we need to stop creating some things. Like that's a thing that doesn't need to exist. Like
Right.
doesn't need to. This is bordering on that. I'm not quite sure what the point is.
I mean, but here's the thing. For an event that was pumped up as like, hey, you're going to see
Pumped up?
the human limits. Literally, like people were billing it as
What's the fastest a person could be? What's
Right.
the highest a person can jump? Yeah.
Swimming is probably a tough one though, because the aerodynamics of swimming is not,
and they're wearing buoyant suits that were banned in 2009. Like, there's a whole other element to this thing that is more niche.
Yeah.
But the point being,
Was this guy wearing the suit?
He was wearing the
Okay,
suit, yes,
okay.
to at least even that level of playing field.
Sure.
But even without it, he
Because
probably
that's
still would
not,
have won the race.
physical enhancement. That's
Right. But
Equipment.
the point being is for an event that was built up to this, at least on the swimming side of things, there was one world record, and it was only broken by 0.07, so it won't stand. It's not something that's people are going to look back and go like, that's the fastest anyone could ever be. Like, for all intents and purposes, the event was a dud, and one of the clean athletes coming out of it looks like a hero because he dunked on everybody else and walks out with a payday. He's being paid by them to compete.
How did you find this?
It's on my feed, the same way golf is on your feed.
Carefully curated.
I did see it come across my feed. I spent about 4 seconds on, what is this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I will absolutely co-sign. It's a good thing that this event got dunked on.
Yes.
Because this is not what we want sports to be.
Especially when Olympic sports are already under fire with
What'd
the
be the
changes
wor-
at NCAA and everything along those
And
lines.
worst case scenario would be one of the roided up dudes sets a massive world record and wins it by 10 seconds. That would have been bad.
Right.
How many of these guys that were all roided up, like I know you had the one example of a guy that was a silver medalist in the Olympics, were a lot of these guys former, because like that's the
Yes
one other
and no. Like,
Yeah.
but you're not going to get Olympians in this event. Like, honest to goodness.
That's the problem, is this really the fastest a person can be, or is this the fastest that the guy who's like a B+ in this world can be
It's
plus
not
steroids?
It's not saying guys that like the part of the field are former Olympians. It's not like they didn't rise to that level, but Phelps isn't in this. Lochte isn't in this.
Right.
The traditional names that you would think associated with swimming want nothing to do with it.
Of course.
Which says everything that you would need to know. This is a live golf thing for a better comp. The moment you cross that line and become a affiliate with the enhanced games, it was a coup when Hunter signed up with them. But he preached from the beginning that I was going to compete clean, and he's stayed true to that word. The difference is DeChambeau trying to come back from live back to PGA is still going to be an issue.
That's what all of it is. It's all a cash grab.
Yes.
Right.
And
So
especially
is
in a
this
sport,
guy going to be able to come back because he's
clean.
swum clean? Yeah.
That is part of it. That the stigma
Swum?
doesn't exist. Yes.
swum. It
But
is swum. Okay. I
More
got it right.
specifically
All right.
for a sport that doesn't have a lot of endorsements.
Further
and-
fied. We got to
Anyway.
create a board of words.
We were talking about that the other day after the show. I was like, what was that word Jonah made up? I couldn't remember.
Anyway,